So let us see operation of a single phase half wave rectifier with R load for alpha greater than 30. Alpha greater than 30. And in order to understand this operation for alpha greater than 30, you must know this particular point. You can see that A phase voltage becoming 0 and trying to become negative from this instant onwards, that is omega t is equal to pi or 180 degrees onwards. Similarly, B phase voltage becomes negative at this instant and C phase voltage becomes negative at this instant, right? So now for this, this is very important. So please note this down. And now let us see the operation. So now we know for alpha is equal to 0, these are starting points. Okay, at omega t is equal to 30 degrees or 5 by 6 radians, onwards thyristor 1 is forward biased. Similarly, at omega t is equal to 5 by 6 and at omega c is equal to 35 by 6 onwards, thyristor 2 and 3 are going to be forward biased respectively. So alpha is equal to 0 instant is corresponding to those points. Now what is alpha I have considered? I have considered alpha greater than 30. Now for simplicity, let me take alpha is equal to 60 degrees for example. Let me take alpha is equal to 60 degrees. So omega t is equal to 30 plus 60 is 90. So at this instant onwards, at omega t is equal to 90 degrees onwards, thyristor 1 is going to conduct because it is already forward biased, and so it is triggered at this instant, that is pi by 6 plus alpha. Now in this case alpha is taken as pi by 3, so it is pi by 2. So this pi by 6 plus alpha is taken as pi by 2. So for this to make our analysis simple, I have taken alpha is equal to pi by 3. So it is, this instant is corresponding to pi by 2. Now at this instant what would happen? Thyristor 1 would conduct. Thyristor 1 would conduct because it is forward biased and it is triggered. So voltage across load would be same as VA. So that is what is shown here. It is same as VA. Now what would happen? What would happen at omega t is equal to pi? At omega t is equal to pi, voltage across load is trying to becoming negative. If voltage across load is becoming negative because it is resistive load, current also becomes negative. Current reverses direction if at all the voltage across load is negative because it is purely resistive. But that reverse direction current is not allowed by these thyristors. There is no path provided. Thyristors are unidirectional switches, so there is no path provided for negative current. So there is no possibility of negative voltage appear across the resistor, as there is no path provided. So thyristor 1, 2 and 3, they will allow current in only this direction. So only this direction. That is according to the convention. So this direction. So that is left to right. If voltage becomes negative, then current must be right to left, which is not possible. There is no path provided by any of the thyristors. So what would happen at this moment? Thyristor current also becomes negative. You can see that thyristor current also it is same as V0 by R. So at this moment thyristor current made 0, becoming 0, and there is no question of negative current flowing to thyristors. So instead of conducting from pi by 6 plus alpha to pi by plus 6 alpha, which was the case in case of alpha less than 30 degrees. So in this case that is not possible. So from pi to 5 pi by 6 plus alpha during this period, none of the thyristors are going to conduct. Okay, because thyristor 1 is going to be reverse biased. Okay, and even though thyristor 2 is forward biased, it is not triggered, it won't conduct. So current through thyristor 1, 2 and 3 all are going to be 0. Voltage across load is going to be 0 in this case. Okay, load is purely resistive. If it is RL load, then maybe current would try to become 0 after some instant. Not at this pi, maybe after some instant. So still thyristor 1 would conduct in case of RL load. But this is purely resistive load. That is not possible. Right? So what would happen from pi to pi by 6 plus alpha? Current and voltage across load both are going to be 0. Right? Now what happens at pi by 6 plus alpha? At pi by 6 plus alpha, thyristor 2, which was already forward biased, is triggered. So at this instant. So load voltage would be same as the source voltage, that is VB, and current is same as VBA by R. So you can see VB is positive during this interval. So you can see from 5 pi by 6 plus alpha to, so this instant. So instant where the VB is becoming 0 and trying to become negative at this instant, from this instant to this instant. So thyristor 2 would conduct. Voltage is same as VB and current is same as VB by R, and thyristor 2 would conduct. And at this moment current through load becomes negative, try to become negative, and which is not allowed. So none of the thyristors are going to conduct. At this moment thyristor 2 current becomes 0 and it trying to become negative, which is not possible. So no current would flow through thyristors. In fact, none of the thyristors are going to conduct during this interval, that is during this interval. Okay, so that is so this instant to 3 pi by 2 plus alpha. Similarly, at this instant, so you can see at this instant, that is 3 pi by 2 plus alpha, thyristor 3, which was already far biased, is triggered, so that would conduct. Voltage across load would be same as VC, so that is what indicated. So and VC by R is the current through the load, which is same as the current through thyristor T3, which is same as the source current, that is VC, so IC, right? So that would conduct through T3 only. Now at this instant, so you can see at this instant, so before next thyristor is triggered, current through thyristor, conducting thyristor became 0. So this instant onwards, so current through thyristor, each thyristor would become 0 and voltage across load becomes 0. So this is the operation for one complete cycle for alpha greater than 30. So we have discontinuous current and discontinuous load voltage for alpha greater than 30 degrees for resistive load. So please keep this in mind. So previously for alpha less than 30 degrees, voltage and current both are going to be continuous even for R load. But for R load for alpha greater than 30, so current and voltage both are going to be discontinuous. Of course, so still you have 3 pulses within 2 pi radians. It is also known as 3 pulse converter. But only the change is that we have discontinuous load voltage and discontinuous load current. And now, of course, this is the operation for 2 pi radians, and same thing would repeat for remaining cycles also. Now, in order to compute average value or RMS value of load voltage or load current, you must know the mathematical expression for this complete period, that is from pi by 6 plus pi by 6 plus alpha to 5 pi by 6 plus alpha, because this is one complete cycle for output voltage. Output voltage frequency is 3 times of the input voltage frequency. So consider only this period, this 2 pi by 3 radians only. And during this 2 pi by 3 radians, you can see that V0 is equal to Vmp sin omega t. You can see, let me consider only this period. It is same as Vmp sin omega t, that is same as Va from pi by 6 plus alpha to pi radians. And pi to 5 pi by 6 plus alpha, you can see that voltage across load would be 0. So this is the mathematical expression for load voltage, and we can use this to compute the average voltage and RMS value of the output voltage. Now let us find out average value and RMS value. So compute that using this formula. So you have to integrate that throughout the cycle, so throughout this period, and you have to take its average value. But you can see the value is non-zero from pi by 6 plus alpha to pi only. So you have to integrate, you have to consider the area under curve only this period, that is from pi by 6 plus alpha to pi only. That is what I have considered here. And you have to take its mean value by dividing it by 2 pi by 3. And if you do that, you will get that value is equal to 3 Vmp by 2 pi into cos pi by 6 plus alpha minus cos pi. Minus cos pi is same as minus 1. And if you simplify further, you will get that value is equal to this. This is 3 Vmp by 2 pi into 1 plus cos pi by 6 plus alpha. This is the formula to compute average value. Okay, what is Vmp here? That is peak value of the phase voltage. Alpha is the firing angle in radians, because this angle is taken in radians. Pi by 6 is taken as radians, so alpha must be taken in radians. In case if you take this in degrees, so it is 30 degrees, then you can take alpha also in 30 degrees. So please be careful while substituting alpha value. If you want to take alpha in degrees, then you have to take this as 30 degrees. Okay, yeah. So that, and you can also compute RMS value using this formula. You square the waveform of voltage during this period, that is 5 by 6 to 5 pi pi, and then take its mean value and apply square root, you will get RMS value. Average value and RMS value of output current and output average value of and RMS value of output currents are this way, that is V0 by R and VOR by R respectively. Coming to source current or thyristor current, you can see thyristor 1 current is same as source current, that is A phase current for this period only, that is for only 120 degrees, only 1/3 of complete cycle of the input you have thyristor 1 current. For next 120 degrees thyristor 2 is conducting, and next 120 degrees thyristor 3 is conducting. And if you want to find out average value of source current, so you consider only one phase at a time. So let me take A phase source current that exists for only 1/3 of complete cycle of input supply, right? So I am finding input current only, right? Input current average value. You have to consider input frequency, that is 2 pi radians. For if you consider 2 pi radians, only 2 pi by 3 radians only, we have the T1 in active mode. So that is going to conduct for only 1/3 of complete cycle. So its average value would be I0 by 3 and RMS value would be IOR by 3. So in fact, the value of the current is same as output current for 1/3 period. So its average value would be I0 by 3 and RMS value by IOR by 3, where I0 and IOR average value and RMS value of the output current respectively. So this way one can compute output voltages and output currents, and of course you can also compute the input source current average value and RMS value respectively this way. Of course, in this case thyristor currents are same as source currents, right? Thyristor 1 current is same as source 1 current, the A phase current, right? Thyristor 2 current is same as B phase current, thyristor 3 current is same as C phase current respectively. Now if somebody wants to find out the power factor, yes, you can find out power factor. This is the formula. So power consumed by load by input VA, or power supplied by source by input VA is the formula. Now in this case what is power absorbed by the load? That is same as power absorbed by this particular resistance, and we know that is equal to IOR square into R, where IOR is the RMS value of current flowing through the resistor, okay, and that is equal to VOR into IOR also. You can write this way also. And coming to the input VA is same as 3 times, because it is 3 phase, no? Input VA is 3 times phase voltage RMS value into phase current RMS value. So now phase voltage RMS value is VMP by root 2, the peak value of phase voltage by root 2, and phase current RMS value we have seen from previous slide, that is equal to RMS value of output current by root 3. So substitute them, you get this way. So P0 by 3 into VPH into IPH. Now again, in case, of course, in this particular case, no, we can see that phase voltage equal to 1 by root 3 times the line voltage, or line voltage equal to root 3 times the phase voltage. By applying that, you can rewrite this way also. The final formula is P0 is equal to VOR into IOR, or IOR square into R, by root 3 times VL into IL. So VL is generally supply voltage. In fact, supply voltage would be mentioned in line to line, okay, until unless it is mentioned in the question that the voltage given is phase voltage, you have to take it as line voltage, okay. So this is the if you know line voltage, and you can compute remaining values, and by substituting them one can find out input power factor also, okay. So this is about the 3-phase half wave control rectifier with the R load, okay. In next class we shall see 3-phase control half wave control rectifier with the RL load, assuming current is continuous, okay. Thank you.